Different ideologies
and different perspectives.
Share your views on the sunny side.
92.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
So 2023 is just around the corner. We have conversations building up, gearing up, body language is changing and shifting and adapting to the elections coming up in 2023. I mean, the climate is beginning to change in Nigeria. Who would you vote when the candidates present themselves? We'll be talking about a certain former governor in Nigeria who came out to say that he's willing to succeed the current president, Muhammadu Buhari, in 2023. We'll talk about, the things that he mentioned as well as reasons why and conditions he would even consider that. And I would like to know what criteria you think should decide the next president of Nigeria on this hour. Welcome to the sunny side. This is your number one talk news and sports radio station here in Port Harcourt. I am Gabriella. Welcome to the show.
Different ideologies
and different perspectives.
Share your views on the sunny side.
92.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Still ahead on the show for you at 1:30. We get to connect to you all on Energy Power Solutions. That takes place at 1:30, 2 p.m. the news update. And at 2 p.m. right after that, we'll be connected to Mind, Body and Soul. I'll be joined by guests on that hour. But let's kickstart our conversation today with the former Abia State Governor and current Senate Chief Whip, Orji Uzor Kalu, in a report, was saying giving conditions to succeed the current president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, in 2023. He was speaking to newsmen after receiving a traditional title, and he said that he would only contest if Nigerians asked him to. He was also insisting that his ambition for now would be to return to the Senate in 2023. But if Nigerians and, different regions across the country did come together to say, yes, we want you to be our next president, according to him in this report, he has all the, the ability and the capacity to carry this country forward come 2023 as its first citizen. As you would expect, there were lots of reactions to this, those in support, those not. But the big question on this I would like that you join the conversation away from Orji Uzor Kalu as candidates, for the presidential elections come 2023. As it were right now, we do not necessarily know who they are. They haven't officially presented as, this is a candidate for Party A or Party B or Party C. But there are comments here and there. There are, side comments. There are body languages changing and shifting. Things that are not really said but communicated. People are beginning to, pay allegiance to certain powers that be just so they can position themselves better in favor of themselves come the elections in 2023. So the big question right now is, what should you and I as Nigerians, what criteria do you think should decide the next president of Nigeria? I'm sure you already know how there's been a lot of ethnic debates in terms of what region should produce the next president of the country. Should it be based on that? Or what other factors, what criteria do you actually think should produce the next president of Nigeria? Not just that, but because we're in a place and time right now where we're gunning for a different experience, for a change in our status quo. We have suffered too much when it comes to poor educational facilities, poor infrastructure, poor healthcare providers and facilities as well. Insecurity is as obvious as the sky, in Nigeria currently. Our problems are enormous. It's time for Nigerians to heave that sigh of relief and breathe that breath of fresh air. What should be the criteria for us to look out for that would help us decide who the next president will be. Not about where you're from, not about what party you belong to, not about whatever interests that you might be considering. What criteria should we look out for that will decide the next president of Nigeria? The phone lines are open. The floor is yours now, so let's talk. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. You can also call 0817-923-0007 or 0817-923-0009. On WhatsApp, it's 0809-030-6416. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can join the conversation on there. On Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, on YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. Good afternoon, Promise.
Yes, good afternoon.
You're welcome.
From Ghana.
Go ahead.
Yes, expected president to be 2023. Like you have said, whether it should be on geographical location or competence or criteria. I believe that why competence is the number one criteria, we also acknowledge that the
apologies, Promise. Do all to call us back. Good afternoon, Dennis. You're welcome.
Yeah, Gabby, good afternoon.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Gabby, I have a master's degree in commerce and economics, and I've been experienced in the Nigerian political scene. I can tell you that even Jesus Christ comes, he cannot rule Nigeria.
Really?
Without a miracle of shutting Nigerians up, so everybody shut up, don't talk, then he will stop importation in this country, build capacity. So if we as human beings have to do it, we must follow strictly the rules that education has taught us. The recruitment process of leaders must be that is transparent. Everybody must come. Then all in wards, all localities must be represented. Then they must do what we call moral suasion. Moral suasion to tell Nigerians, please, Igbo man, don't think I'm hunting you. Hausa man, don't think I'm hunting you. Yoruba man, don't think I'm hunting you. We have to stop importation now. Build capacity at home, produce our own products so that we don't need to go asking for dollars. Our naira will come back to some value so that the food products we are experiencing at skyrocketing prices will come down. Then the industries, of course, which will cause that to happen, will come in place. If not, my dear sister, we are crying for the moon.
All right. Dennis, thank you very much. Let's speak to Barry Digiadam calling from Gokana. Good afternoon. You're welcome.
Hello, Auntie Gabriella.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're welcome to the sunny side.
Thank you.
My name is Barry Digiadam. I'm calling from Bera in Gokana.
Go ahead.
What criteria should be used to decide the next president of Nigeria? The answer to this question is enormous. It's plenty. The criteria that should be used to decide the next president of Nigeria: one, we don't need someone that is tribalistic. Two, we don't need a thief. Three, we don't need someone that is a politician to be the next president of Nigeria.
Really?
Yes. We need someone that stands for his people. Not someone that will come and loot the treasury. Thank you, Gabriella.
All right. I'll let Mr. Zion speak and then I'll react to what you mentioned earlier. Good afternoon, Mr. Zion. You're welcome.
Yeah, I think we need a leader that will be like us, which is I need a leader that will be like me. Like me. Because you can't give what you don't have. We cannot give a better leader if we are not better. We can only give what we have. So to get the best man that should succeed President Muhammadu Buhari come 2023, I must look for a man that is like me. A man that should be conscious and conscientized enough to know that Nigeria is his country.
How do you find such a candidate? How exactly do you
During their campaigns, before the campaigns, political parties must surely alight their candidates. I will do a study, a background check of these men. If I find out that you have a medical folder in America or London, I will not vote for you. If your children are schooling abroad, I will not vote for you. If your parents does not have a foundation in their community, I will not vote for you. Because if I vote for you, you will take my money to America for medical checkup. You will take your children, you sponsor them to MA and BS in America, and here we die. Nigeria will not survive. And I will also check you very well. How many farms do you have in your community? Does the agricultural folders have your document that you have a farm with them? Because I know if you don't have a farm, you cannot feed your family. You are only looking for where you can steal money to feed your family. So these are the integrity lines or integrity check before I can cast my vote to anybody. If you like, we know. If you like, don't we know. But to claim my conscience that Mr. Zion and his family did not do the wrong thing, that is what we will check for. I also found out that in this country, a lot of youths have borrowed money from online and real-time loan vendors. Do you know why? Because Nigeria is borrowing money, and the spirit of borrowing has fallen among the lot. My goodness, you don't understand what I'm telling you. A lot of people.
Wow.
I don't.
And that's as a result of, oh my, Mr. Zion is gone. But is that a result of the government borrowing as well? Well, let's quickly speak to Chimbrama. We'll have a lot of people waiting in line. Chimbrama, good afternoon. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Gazi.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm of the opinion that power should shift to another side of the country. You know, one region is not meant to hold on to power forever. You get my point? Yes, because those who say the power should be shared among the regions that make up the country, who created the federal character, they are not fools. You get my point? But if a Southerner should become the president of this country, what is the person's history?
That's the thing, Chimbrama. Why should we even, have to talk about where the person is from? So why would we want to say, oh, that southern candidate or that northern candidate or that eastern? Why do we have to do that first before considering whatever other capacity that they might have?
You know that, whenever your person is in position of authority, things are done in favor of that very region.
Is that the way leadership works?
A particular set of people have not been declared terrorists now. You understand? Because it is only in Nigeria that have seen, what do they call it? They have a language, they call it a bandit. Bandit who kidnap people and then come back to government and ask for provisions and they are feeding.
Well, Chimbrama, how do we take out that ethnic, divide, as it were? How can we take that out?
It's only God that will save us. And then if we should consider that ethnic issue, we should look at the person's history. Let me talk of former governor of Abia, who is talking about it. What did he do in Abia? He governed Abia and left Abia State in a mess. Abia State became a garbage city. If you enter Abia State, as at the time he was the governor of that state, you will hate that state. Dustbin everywhere, no road. He left that place. I don't know whether you understand. So somebody like that should be the president of this country. God forbid. If a Southerner must become a president of this country, we know them. The present River State governor is competent.
All right, Chimbrama, thank you very much.
And the former one is also competent.
I need to move on to other callers. Sadly, I've lost Daniel's call. Please call back, Daniel. I'd like to speak with you. Good afternoon, Promise. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes,
back.
good afternoon.
Yes.
Sorry, my call ended last time.
Yes, go ahead.
Why I actually supported the power shift to South is because in every zone in this country, there are competent personalities that can handle the number one position in this country. That's number one. And second, when we get to the zone, you will discover that we have people who have mounted the educational sector, who are professionally, they have served this country in their own area of endeavor. They have done perfectly well. So these are criteria we will look. Are you an educationist? What contribution have you done to your own profession? What legacy have you been able to bring on board that have changed the system that you have mounted? If you are a politician and you have served, either you have been a senator or you've been a governor, what legacy that Nigeria have changed, not the one you are saying, no, not the one that was governor, I did this, but Nigerian can see. So everybody today now refer to Lagos as a number one state in Nigeria. People govern that state. You see, so not what you said, but what we can find out.
All right.
As the track record of that individual. It may be somebody from the business sector. You know, how is your business? How far have you been able to grow your business? How many persons have you been able to employ as a person in the business sector? These are some of the indices that I think that if we look at it, we can select a competent leadership. I use the word competency because I think we have in this country is competency. We use reality in terms of competence. So competence is very important.
All right,
in
Promise.
any aspect of our selection. Let's look at leaders who have sympathy of the people. You know, not a Nigerian president that will come and will come on air, take microphone, and announce that I will make minimum wage. And you see that these things are not implemented, and you sit down and look at the people.
All right, I'm going to respond to that if I do have the time. But let's move on to Daniel calling from Imo Gate. Good afternoon, Daniel.
Good afternoon, Gabby.
Go ahead.
Mogeto Zako. Yes, my sister. You see, somebody mentioned the name of Jesus Christ. I am sorry for somebody mentioning that name, but actually, I know what he meant. It means if our constitution is not changed, this nation is not restructured, I tell you, Gabby, you yourself can't do nothing. Because, okay, you are just one person. What about the state assembly that will tell you that you are governing with the so-called constitution? Then you are helpless. You are just there to enjoy the royalty that is in that office. So I don't even think that this our president Buhari now can change our constitution. These are the problems. So for me as a person, if they can change our constitution, that where National Assembly can just go there as voluntary service, reduce the cost of running this government, so that ordinary man, they can build industries for ordinary people to work and earn a living. That is, and the likes of maybe Moralo, Charles Moralo, I voted for him at the last presidential election anyway, and the likes of Showere, I think in this country, if the constitution is, if they change our constitution, I think people like that can do better.
All right. Thank you very much. Chris, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Gabriella.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
I just laughing. It's like Nigerians are just frustrated just because we choose the wrong person. See, all hope is not lost. People are talking of constitution. What has constitution got to do with the economy? See, our problem is not where you come from. You must not be a politician and all those stuff. Yaradua was our president, and we saw what he did. Jonathan, the same thing. Obasanjo. So what I want to say is that politicians will remain politicians. But what we need to do is just to put the right person. It does not matter where you come
That's
from.
why I'm asking the question, Chris. How do you then determine who the right person is?
Thank you.
What are the indicators to show that this candidate is the right person?
No indication or anything, but once the person enter, you will know. I mean, you will test somebody before you will know whether the person is good or not.
So we have to wait until the person gets into office to know whether or not they're good.
Does it really matter where you come from? And if he did not, no need. So, once the right person enter, we will know from the onset.
And that's why I'm asking Chris. Let me take you up on what you just said. When the right person enters. Okay. So, do we need to wait until the person has won the election? How do you know who to vote for? You know, before the person even gets into office to know whether or not they're the right person. Don't you think it's too late for the candidate to win the elections and get into the office to determine whether or not they're the right candidate?
Thank you. This government came in the first tenor. We saw that he was not performing, excuses here and there. Him and put another person. We started playing politics, and now we are still suffering it. So when you tell somebody and you see that he's not performing, you have the right to push that person away and put another person. Or you say, okay, after this time, no more for you.
All right,
Chris. Begin to play tribalism, that is why we are where we are now.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. That obviously means that perhaps as a people, we do have a fundamental problem. Because if we cannot determine who the right candidate is before they get into office, and as Chris is suggesting, when they get into office, then if they do not perform well, you take them out. Then you bring someone else. If they don't perform well, you take them out. Don't you think that obviously shows and exposes the fact that we do have a fundamental problem with our decision-making processes as Nigerians, not even as these candidates now, but as Nigerians, because again, it's us as Nigerians who vote them into power. So does this expose a new problem to us? An already existing problem that perhaps we've been all blind to, that just maybe the leaders aren't the problem, but us as people are? Let's take some comments on WhatsApp, and we'll get back to the phone lines. We've got about 5 minutes left for this conversation. On WhatsApp now, this here says, I'm Soke Fubara from Port Harcourt. Being president of Nigeria involves a lot. Unfortunately, the politicians are not very good politically than the others. The South even plays better politics than the East. I wonder if president needs to be fully accepted by majority. Again, why the ethnic divide? Why? This here says, problems of Nigeria are not leadership, it's the people, full of ethnicity and hatred. Godwin Ugo, like I just mentioned. And this here says, Gabby, why do we focus on leaders leaving the followers who are the real problem? Because argue it from now till forever, the next leaders are going to come from amongst the followers. So any day we start to behave like human beings, then we will get good leaders from and among us. Until that happens, this is who we are. Let's leave with it. IBC, I mean, I just literally just mentioned that, just maybe, because again, you cannot get in a relationship with a toxic man or woman, break off of that relationship, get into another one, and it's another toxic relationship. You break off of that one and you get into a third relationship and it's also toxic. That shows there is something wrong with you and how you make decisions on who you choose to be with. So just maybe our leaders aren't necessarily the entire problem. They do share a brunt anyway. Just maybe as Nigerians, we do have a fundamental problem we're not even looking at. Let's speak to Maxwell from Adijudge. We'll get back to the comments shortly. Good afternoon, Maxwell. Oh, apologies for that, Maxwell. Please call back. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is BC. I'm calling from Aga.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me go straight to the point. You see, the problem of you brought a very good discussion. The problem of this country is from the governors. If we can able to abolish governors.
Oh, really?
Honestly, governors are the great problem we have in this country. Since 2022, that our affairs, my sister, let me not use bad language. Only God will judge them.
But let me understand you. Are you saying that we do not need state governors? So what do we have in their stead?
We don't need governors. We need to come back to those days of those days of maybe regional, when I say like prime minister. We don't need governors. Do you know in other states the governor has imposed 200 every study?
Oh my, the line is really breaking. But thank you regardless. We'll have to move on to other callers. But I find that quite interesting that we do not need governors. Wow. Anyway, let's take some more comments on Facebook and WhatsApp. Let's take some comments on Facebook now. On Facebook, let's see. I'll come back to that shortly. Let's take some on WhatsApp as they come in. Gabby, if you ask me, okay, Divine, this is not room or a platform to tell or campaign for your candidate, as it were. So I'll just move on from that. Maxwell Niba from Port Harcourt says, good afternoon, Gabriella. Nigeria needs a president like me. A president who is not more than 50. This tribalized Nigerian who understands the challenges and peculiarities. A Nigerian who has in mind a master plan on what to achieve within 4 years. A Nigerian who will strengthen our various institutions like health, education, the INEC, military, etc. A Nigerian that will industrialize our economy. All right, Maxwell. Good day, Gabby. This is from Owanete Clinton West. He says the criteria to be used for the next president, first and foremost, young, vibrant, competent person, corruption-free person, and person who has the ability to move things in a certain direction. Someone who is not about the title, but about service. Again, Owanete, I'm asking, how do you determine that this individual has all of these characteristics? How do you determine that? Good afternoon, Gabby. This is from Barry Ledum from Eagle Island. He says, I want a Nigerian at heart, not a Christian, Muslim, or traditionalist to be the next president. A Nigerian at heart is someone who understands the diversity of our country, someone who will subsidize education and not fuel, someone whose interest is about the people and not self, someone whose interest is making the next generation better than his. Well, I think this will be a final comment on the conversation because the time is up. But it's beautiful. I'll just say this in closing. It's actually very beautiful to list all of these noble characteristics. A Nigerian at heart, a patriotic Nigerian, someone who has the interest of the people at heart. But the question still is, where will this person come from? Where will this next to God Nigerian come from? He or she will come from amongst us. Look around you. What kind of people are we? What kind of decisions do we make on a daily? It's always easy to sit in our bedrooms and say, oh, I want a Nigerian that does this and does that and can do this and can do that, that can deliver on the job. It's easy to point the fingers, but take a look around you. The next leader or leaders will come from amongst us. The people amongst us right now, how do they live? How do you lead? How do you interact with these people? Are you kind? Are you transparent? Or are you corrupt in your business, in your school, in dealing with your neighbor? Do you cheat your neighbor? Do you bully your neighbor? So when you have a fight with your neighbor, you go call them because you have the DPO's number, or you go call your boys. Do you bully them? Because again, it's bullying that translates and transitions into, electoral violence. Because again, you want to come show your power, your political power and might, and you call your boys to come snatch the ballot boxes and see nothing will happen. Nobody can do nothing about it. That's what translates to that. So the kind of people that we are right now is what will actually determine the kind of leaders we produce in 2023. On that note, I got to wrap the conversation up. At 1 o'clock, that happens in 3 minutes, the news update, and right after, further conversations on the sunny side. Thank you for joining me. Have a great afternoon and stay tuned.